All right, we're live. So yes, once again, good evening, everyone. We're packed this evening. You're welcome to our live session. And yes, like I
Yeah, I know.
explained,
Good evening, Casey.
yeah, good evening, Abdul. Welcome. Good to see you. Good to see you. So like I said, for those of us who are new here, each session is recorded. This is what we're currently doing as we speak. But yes, welcome. This is the month of July, and the month of June ended really well. I mean, it was a very impressive month. So I'll take you guys over what happened, the trades and everything else. And I think first of all, just look at the chart, right? Let's just go through the chart and see what we have. After which, sorry, let me see. What's that? Okay. All right. Can you guys see my screen? Just making sure.
Yeah, we can see. We can see.
Yeah,
Go
of
on,
course
please.
I can see the screen. Go ahead.
Okay. Right. Okay, so what do we have? Let's start with the JPYs. Okay, let's start with the JPYs. So following our updates, nothing crazy. Not much has happened since then. We're of course breaking out of minor levels and we'll continue to the upside, which, as I explained, is part of the plan. So for all the JPYs, I have been and still expect upside contributions on these pairs, which is exactly what we're seeing. So AJ, I'm expecting AJ to get back to the key level, after which I expect, of course, contributions. And I think I'll see what we take it from there. Cat JPY, let's see. Yes, so it seems like we're trying to break above the key level once again, which is very interesting. So let me come back to the monthly. So last month we tried breaking up above this level last month, but somehow we closed below the key level. So, but now, as the month of July is starting out, it seems like we're trying to break out of the key level once again. So, let's see if this month will be different. Let's see if we're going to have a break close above the key level, and yes, we'll take it from there. So, of course, like I said, I need a breakout, of course, and a pullback to go long on CAD GPY. And please don't mind the minor levels which are marked out in blue. Because these are not like key levels I would trade from, but they are levels I'm using to test some systems, if that makes sense. All right, yeah, Yusuf. I think Yusuf is here. Hold on. All right, yeah, Yusuf is here. Welcome, Yusuf. So I know you're long on AJ. I think Yusuf, I'm correct. I think you're long on AJ.
Yeah.
All right, so far so good because we still have like prices like trying to continue in your direction, which is good.
Yes.
Yes. All right. So moving on, we have CHF GPY. Yeah, very interesting. So we finally had the breakout last month. So not only did we break above this resistance here, we also broke above the um, previous all-time high. We did that last month, and it seems like uh, price will continue in this direction, which is good to see. Like I said, CHF JPY remains the oldest trade in my portfolio. I bought this pair sometime in September of 2024. So now in July, so I think I've been holding this trade for almost 10 months, 10 months. It's 9 months. So that's why I said it's been quite some time. And you can see how much patience was required to hold this trade. Some of us who might think it is impossible to do that, it is possible. So there was an opportunity to buy in September. There was another opportunity to buy in February, which was just a few months ago. And if you bought here, and of course you didn't have to wait all this time. But either ways, we have the upside contributions. We never had to close our trades. We never had to. We just had to stay patient. And now the patience is paying off. Of course, it is not the guarantee that these trades will play out. But so far, we can be happy about the progress that we've made. Next up, we have EJ. So yes, EJ have a breakout of this key level, and now I'm expecting a retest. But now the question is, are we going to have a retest? I'm not sure yet, but that's the plan. That's the plan I have. For me to get long, I want price to come down here for the retest in order for me to go long. So in terms of the breakout, we had that last month, as you can see here. So a clear breakout last month, and now I'm expecting a retest. It's too far away from the key level, but yes, we'll see. We'll see how price plays around this. Let's see if it gives us an opportunity to buy. What else do we have? Pound JPY, I'm long on Pound J, so nothing too crazy. I'm expecting a breakout of this resistance at some point. Of course, I expect this level to act as resistance for some time, but eventually I would want price to break out this to continue the overall trend to the next key level. NZD-JPY, sluggish, but very similar to AUD-JPY as well. So they move really alike. So also expecting price to continue to be upside. And then UJ, yeah. So same thing, same thing on UJ. I am expecting price to give me an opportunity to buy at the key level, or so far we've not had that. But whether or not it gives me an opportunity, I expect upside continuation. In the long term, I think the US dollar will gain more strength than Japanese yen. And in my opinion, it's only a matter of when. It's only a matter of when, not if. So hopefully I find an entry before that happens. But whatever the case, we can expect upside continuations of USD price. Pretty much all the G price. Until something drastic changes in the fundamentals, this is my output on the G price. Okay. AD card, it came back to the resistance level, but we're still there. So nothing too crazy. Euro card is a little bit of a pullback. That's normal. That's normal, but again, nothing too crazy. I still expect these guys to continue moving up in the next few weeks and months. Pound card, got a breakout last week, but it looks like we're trying to break back the resistance level this week. And I can't say much about this until the next few weeks. We'll tell if this is a fake out or if eventually we're still going to continue to be upside. Because as at the end of last week, it was pretty good. I mean, the breakout, but now we're having like price trying to break back below the level. But now let's look at the monthly. We close really good on the monthly, yes. So if this month is going to be bullish, then it means we'll have this pullback, after which it will now retrace back to the upside. If that's the case, right? So we can't tell until the time comes. NZD card, we came back to the key level. We're testing as resistance and we're dropping. It's still ranging. NZD card is still ranging. And like I said, we can expect the range to continue because not only is this a minor pair, but it doesn't always trend. So if you're going to have a pair like this in your portfolio, you just have to understand how long it might take for some of these trades to pay out. And like I've always said, you don't always have to worry about each individual trade because when you have a bunch of trades in your portfolio, when you're managing a huge portfolio, then each individual trade no longer affects you as much as. So USD card, nothing to say here to be honest. Hold up. Yeah. So it is possible for price to come back to this this support level. It is, but in my opinion, we're like in the middle of nowhere. I can't really do much with USD card. I don't have any interest in this guy, to be honest. Euro AUD, nothing for me. Euro NZD, interestingly, there's something. Yeah, so remember how we've been waiting for a breakout on Euro NZD, a proper breakout? We finally have it. And like I explained when I was sending out an update on Telegram, I said, this is the green light we have. What is the green light? The breakout. So remember that way back in April when we had this breakout, price failed to close right above the key level, like to show us it's a proper breakout. And since then, we didn't touch Euro NZD. We just waited, allowing for price to give us a proper breakout, which we now have. So last month, we have a strong bullish candle above the key level, which is good. And now this month and in the months to come, I'll be looking for a pullback, a retest of the key level for me to go long. So you see here that it's the same process, the same thing I've spoken about for months and now going to years. Same thing I'm going to wait for. Same process, same system. Nothing has changed, to be honest. So now I can wait for a pullback. Something like this. Right? Now I would qualify this as a break and retest, at least according to my system. This would be a break and retest if we have that. So the fact that we've not been able to buy your entity all this while may not have been a bad thing after all, because if it does pull back, then we just might get an opportunity to buy it. All right, and then pound AUD, nothing for me, to be honest. Nothing for me until we come down to the key level. So the key level is where I want to buy, where I intend to buy from. But if we don't come back there, then I can't say much about it. Pound NZD. And then some of us are still holding this guy. Like I said before, it is truly testing our patience. But I mean, it's trading. And again, this is a minor player. So it's back at break even. Hold on. It's back at break even. So some of us who have not bought pound NZD who would wish to add this to their calculator and do so. It's going to be a 1% risk, and that's always been a 1% risk. And then some of us might think about, okay, but like we bought way back in March, and now we've been holding our break even up until now. Yes, but if you buy now, you now have to wait for like 3 months of consolidation. So it might just stop you out, or then it might play out. So I've always said that sometimes it's a blessing when our trades don't play out immediately, when my trades don't play out immediately, because if I'm able to add capital between, say for example, I was managing like 600k in March, and for some reason I was able to add an extra 200k in June or now in July, I can still take pound NZD, I can still buy it, right? If I was managing 600k, that would be like $6,000 worth of risk as 1%. And now in July, if I manage 800k, for example, I can add an extra 2k on the trade. Same trade, same risk, but I'm able to buy. I'm able to still buy even after months. So sometimes when you take a trade, or if I take a trade and doesn't play out immediately, I don't feel so bad. I don't feel so bad about it, and I think we can all learn from this. But yes, I'm still long on pound NZD until the key level breaks out. I'm still long. All right. What else do we have?
Yeah, cousin.
USD. All right. Yes.
Good evening. I don't know if you can reshare the entry details for Pioneer the group so that we'll see if we can join now.
Sorry, come again.
I'm saying if you can forward the entry details for pound and ZD like in the group again. For those of us that didn't join in, like
okay, you can. Okay, I might do that, but you can just search out on. You can just search on Telegram, right? Pound NZD, like GPN. You see where I initially bought way back in March. All you have to do is just search.
Okay.
Just search back. You see.
Let me try.
Because I called the entry on it. I called all the trades. I called all the entries on the channel.
Okay. Let me check it and see.
Yeah. Yeah, please do. Just check.
Hello, Casey.
Of course, you're welcome. Yes, I'm good.
Hello.
I can hear you. Go ahead.
Oh, can you hear me? I can't seem to hear you.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Hello.
I can hear you. I think it has to do with your network because I can hear you. I'll do my help to leave and come back because that's his network. But let me finish up the experiences. We have questions. I can hear you now. I mean, I've always heard you.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, Casey. My question is that I noticed that almost all NZD pairs, like almost all of them are ranging currently. You understand? So I don't know, is it because of NZD strength or like because almost all NZD pairs, if you notice, almost all of them are ranging, like no particular movement or something, maybe whether bullish or bearish.
Well, would I consider that NZD strength? Not exactly. I mean, actually, the New Zealand dollar has been weak. The New Zealand dollar the Australian dollar, they've both been weak. I think they're only trying to like recoup right now. For the most part, for most of the pairs you don't see moving. For example, let's say pound USD. The New Zealand dollar is still just how I explain it. It's just trying to. It's still kicking, right? I'll put it that way. It's not necessarily stronger than these other currencies. Else would have seen it drop to the downside. You get. So it's not strong enough to pull price down, but then it's not weak enough to allow price to continue. But then, mind you, if these other currencies, for example, if the British pound starts to gain more strength, then pound NZ will easily continue to the upside. To get. So I think that's a better way of explaining it, because the New Zealand dollar and the Australian dollar, they're not like very strong, but right now they're not weak enough. Like it's like they're not like the highlight of the day or the weeks or the month, and so they're not weak enough to allow prices to move to the upside. So I hope that makes sense. If you heard me.
Yeah, it makes sense. Thank you. Yeah, I heard you.
All right. So ADNZD, we broke out of this resistance level. It now seems that we might go back to the key level to test. So let's see. Let's wait for that to happen. I would want this to happen. I mean, price getting back to the key level to test, because, like I said, I want to sell from the key level. I sold right here in November of 2024 and closed way back in April, right? So if price comes back here and gives me so let me take this one. So I'm looking for my pattern to get to go short. So something like this. Let's see. Right, something like this at the key level. That's what I'm waiting for to go to take a sell. If that happens, I'll get short, of course. So I'm actually hoping that we come back to the key level so that I can look for opportunities to sell. But at the same time, US dollar has been cornered. So we'll talk about the dollar in a minute. But US dollar has been so cornered that we may not. I don't know. We'll find out. I'll talk about the dollar in a minute. But yes, I'm waiting for this to happen, and it comes back here. Of course, I look for opportunities, and then I'll sell. EU being one of the very recent trades we closed out, or that he take profits. Let's see. Yeah, so EU smash actually. It's so interesting to see how, despite the fact that we had our differences or our concerns about EU, even before we took the trade, we took the trade. We didn't know what was going to happen. And we held. All we had to do was buy and hold, and then allow the market to do what it has to do. This is show us again, right? EU finally played out. This is show us again that no matter how much you stress about a trade, an idea, your stress doesn't change anything. It doesn't. So if we reflect back on EU, what if we did not buy because we felt like it wasn't going to play out? That was just our feeling. It had nothing to do with what the market was planning to do. So what if we? Yes,
I'm thinking of something. If you hadn't taken your takeoff, like if you didn't taking your profit on EU, I would have considered riding the trend. Because I'm still expecting the trend to still move on, apart from this level.
I don't think I got you completely because your network was.
Actually, what I mean was that if you hadn't taken your profit on EU, I would have considered riding the trend.
Okay, that's what you're saying. All right, yeah, that's possible,
Yes.
but we've come to a key level, right? That's a key level. I don't think I want to neglect the key level. So I don't think I want to neglect the key level. Also, DXY is back at the support. Like dollar has gone down to the support of 96. It's very easy for price to pull back. Whatever the case, it's a key level. I don't trade past key levels. I don't. I think you know that. So that's why I set my take profit there, 1.18, and then it hit. But yes, going back to my point, is to show us that your stress, however you feel about the market, it doesn't change shit about what's going to happen. If you feel stressed, you feel confident, it won't change much. The market will do what the market wants to do. So Imagine if we did not buy because we thought that EU was going to stop out. Imagine how we would be feeling right now watching EU play out if we were not part of the trend or part of the trade. So again, as long as you have a system, as long as you tested it, it works, then please, by all means, you have to take every trade the system presents. It's the only way you can gain confidence. It's the only way you can build trust in your system. And quite frankly, it's the only way you can make progress. So if you fail to trade or take the opportunities your system is presenting, it will be so difficult to move past the boom and bust cycle. Okay, so I hope this makes sense. So we have EU and USCHF. So I'll come down to USCHF in a bit, but this is the most for EU. Now, what do I expect? Nothing actually. If we break out, fine. We keep riding the trend for a new entry. But I have a feeling that the dollar is going to pick up strength. Like I've said as well, it's also a matter of when, not if. So the dollar will pick up strength. Just when would it happen? So, but then whatever happens, right? We break out, we keep riding the trend, we pull back, whatever happens, we just sit back and allow the market to speak to us. Okay. Pound USD. So we pulled back, but not deep enough to give us an entry. So I left it, and so far this is how we're looking. And there's not much I can say. But if we come back to this key level, I might become interested. So we'll just sit back and see if it happens. But right now, like in the middle of nowhere, I wouldn't want to touch this guy. Okay, that's just my opinion on how I trade. And then NZD USD. So just like AU, we broke out of the level. And I'm also expecting price to come back to this level. That is if we don't break back in, right? I'd expect price to come back here for me to take sales from this level. I missed my opportunity to sell ended USD last year, way back in October. I missed it for like a few weeks. I was so late I could not get involved. But yeah, let's see if I would have the opportunity to sell the second time. So come back here, of course. I will look for my opportunities to get short on ended USD. But the Swiss franc pairs, I still have nothing interesting to share. I think just the fact that pound CHF actually did reject this resistance level, and then it's dropping back to the support level. I think besides that, and that US CHF, I closed out this morning. These are like the only two bits I have. And yes, some of you might wonder, why did I close out manually? Was that just the manual close? Did I not have a reason to close out my short on USD? Well, I did, and I'll share that with you now. So I took short on USD right at this key level. Of course, just like EU, when our concerns about the trade, but it played out very well. It did, and initially I had my take profits down here. Now, of course, like I explained, I said when there are no key levels, I would use fib extensions to set take profit regions. And sometimes I would use 0.5 or 0.68. I rarely ever get down to 0.78. This is like my sweet spot when taking profits when there's no key level in sight. So for USCHF, I wanted to extend. So that's why I was looking at this level, 0.61. So like I was expecting that if price gets here, I might close. But then interestingly, I noticed that the market is rejecting, or so far, price was rejecting 0.5, not 0.68. And now, of course, we never really know for certain where the market will pull back from, right? So ideally, if the market just continues straight to the downside, right, without having to reject 0.5, then of course, would have taken profit at 0.61. But it's not rejecting at 0.5, which you can see now. And I'm like, okay, this might just be the level where it decides to pull back from. And so I want to take my profits at this level, if that makes sense. So you can see why I closed out. It wasn't just because I wanted to. So there's always a reason for entering and closing out trades. Is this also saying that the market cannot drop even further? It can. Of course it can. I'm not sure. Nobody knows that. But I just expected that if we're going to hit 0.61, we'll have to reject 0.5 to get. So now that we did reject it, then of course I will take that as my profit. Because I can also set this as my take profit. It wasn't wrong. I just wanted more profit, obviously. So this makes sense. I hope it does. And yeah, this is the most I have for currencies. So if you don't have any questions, then of course I will move over to metals and indices and we'll take it from there. So
Casey, sorry, I have a question.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah. So there is a topic around this your strategy that has been bothering me. So most especially whenever I'm back testing, that gives me some challenge. So can you explain probably with some examples how you determine trends and trend change? Which particular time frame do you focus on for your trend or trend change? For instance, I know you draw your key levels at least based on the 3 month time frame. But which time frame do you use to decide the trend? So
Okay. Now, of course, a time frame that you use to decide a trend will depend on the time frames you trade. All right, so you have to understand that. For example, I would use the monthly time frame to determine the trend, the long-term trend. So, but that's because of how I trade, the systems I use, and the time frames I work with generally. So that would not apply to every trader, if that makes sense.
okay,
But I use
yeah.
the
So
monthly.
yeah, I'm asking specifically based on what how you trade. So because
Okay,
I'm looking at Euro USD right now, and I just wanted to justify why you take that buy. Because on the 3 month time frame, it looks like we are so, we are kind of looking at a lower high right now on the 3 month time frame. So I was now
yes,
thinking
true.
that if you actually use the 3 month time frame for your overall trend, then that could be like a counter trade trend. And again, taking the buy, it does not really look like we have a strong established long term trend already. So I just want to clarify that.
Exactly. All right, that's a very good question, beautiful question, in fact, and that's why I don't use the 3 months because you see, the 3 months is each they had the time frame. It would be harder to decipher what the reversal looks like, right?
Yeah.
So each at the time frame, the higher the lag would be. So the 3 month time frame would lag much more than the monthly time frame would. Okay, and this
Okay.
is why EU was interesting. This is why EU was very interesting. So this is the monthly time frame. Okay, and if you notice, we are switching sides on the monthly,
Yeah.
not on the 3 months, okay, not on the
Yeah.
3 months, but on the monthly, okay.
Yeah.
And because of this switch in trend, now think about this. So we break this guy, and then we break this guy. This was the previous lower high on the monthly, and then we're expecting a new lower low, right? But we didn't. We formed the lower high, and the market failed to continue, but then it's breaking past the lower high. And now it's in the same breath trying to form a higher low with a
Mm.
high, with a low, and possibly a higher high somewhere. So
Yeah.
you see on the monthly, the trend is changing. This
Okay.
does not mean that we can't switch back to a downtrend. We can. But
Yeah.
so far, because we don't know, because we can't predict, we have to be so discreet and trade what the chart is telling us, right? These are our eyes and see what the chart is telling us. And so far, it's looking like a trend change, right?
Okay.
Because if you think about it, before the 3 month time frame will tell you it's a trend change, you may have been past 1.24. You get the 3 month time frame will have to lag before it then shows that it's a trend change. You must have passed 1.24, and that's like so many opportunities you would have missed trying to take the trend. So if you're trying to pick or check a reversal, ideally I would use the monthly because it is not too it's not a lower time frame trend you get, but it's also not the highest time frame. It's like the sweet spot.
Mm.
That's what I've noticed to be like the best idea. Because even sometimes the
Okay.
weekly time frame can may not give the whole story. So preferably the monthly.
Mhm.
Let me give you a different example. All right, let me give you a different example. So let's use um ADJPY. Let me see this one. Okay. Yeah, too many levels here, but all right. So just pay attention to the key levels in back. All right, because those are like the actual key levels. So we broke. Okay, we rejected this as resistance. Sorry, guys. Give me a minute. All right, so we rejected this as resistance. We broke this as support. Okay. But when we broke this level here as support, was it enough to justify a trend change on the monthly? So what would you say? When we broke past
No.
this,
It's not. No.
exactly, it wasn't. It's not. So you see now that from the money time frame perspective, this is still an uptrend. You get it's still an uptrend, long
Yeah.
term. But then
Mhm.
if you come down to the weekly, if you just use the weekly, you might be so biased to think that this is a trend change. You get because on the weekly, this is like a very deep pullback. So you see now that from the money time frame, we're still fine. We just came back to a lower level of support. That's all.
All right. Yeah.
But then
I
if
get.
we broke this guy, if we broke 989, then I would have started considering sales because from the money time frame perspective, we're now actually switching to the downside. But we didn't.
Okay.
You get
Okay.
that seemed to
Yeah.
happen with E.
Okay.
Yeah, so I wouldn't use the 3 month time frame. It's too much. I think monthly is better.
Yeah. Thank you. That was exactly what I was thinking about because it would take a long time, obviously. So if we can quickly go back to Euro USD, just a quick follow-up question. So does that mean that even if we know that we are still in the big 3 month time frame downtrend based on the market structure we are seeing on the 3 month time frame, does that mean that we can still take a sell at this current level if we have good price action?
I would not.
I know considering this
I would.
strong bullish candle, it would be very hard to take that kind of sell. But if we have
Yeah,
good price action and structure changes, maybe somehow, can you in any way take it, or you just wait till you break the next level below?
below. That's what I'll do.
Okay. All right. Thank
Yeah.
you.
So the reason why, yes, I will do this, but then the reason why it would make sense is that from this point, you can now tell that the monthly is now switching back to a downtrend. You get
Okay.
this is the reason why I won't see it here because from here you can still say that the monthly is in an uptrend to some extent. In recent price action, you can call this an uptrend. But then when we come down and start to break below this level, you can now say, okay, yes, the monthly is now switching back, trying to align with the 3 months once again.
Yeah.
It is when we break below 1.2 that I'll begin to consider sales.
All right. Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you. Sorry, can you go to
All right.
XRP USD? That's a crypto trade I took last week. I think I shared it with you. So before you start,
Yes.
yeah, XRP USD. So I have a level around 2.1, and yeah, I'm currently buying. Yeah, 2.088, 2.0885. Yeah, something around that.
Something around this region. Okay, let me see. No, this is not bad, especially because of you're trying to buy this as support, right? Let me see if we're looking at like previous previous level. There's nothing close at the moment. And no, this would be in black, right? Just so that I don't get confused.
Okay.
That's, sorry, monthly.
Yeah. If you go to the
Monthly.
12 months, I think I took my level based on the 12 months. So there is a kind of okay. Yeah, it's right on
Yeah, I
spot.
understand.
Yeah, so that's how I took my level, and I just tried to look for the buy. Yeah, I took
Yeah, I
the
understand. This I understand what you did here because you see,
oh,
from the
and we
12-month
are
perspective,
yeah.
even though they're close, uh, okay, go ahead.
Yeah, and I have that monthly close. So that's just what I want to say. Monthly
Go ahead, I'm
close
listening.
above. Yeah, I said, and I have the monthly candle close above that level.
Okay, yes.
Firstly, I want you to justify if there's a good level and if they buy.
Yes, that is true. Uh,
Yeah. Okay.
so from
Thank you.
All right, let's do that. So from a 12-month perspective, this is not bad. Let me just take this out and let's do this first. And now we close last year. This is a 12-month country. So we close. All right. Sorry about that. XRP. Let's go back. Okay. So from a 6 months. Oh yeah. Can you guys see my screen, though? Just making sure.
Yes, I
Just
can.
making sure. All right. So, from the 6 month time frame, this is where you picked out the resistance. And this is good. All right. This is good, considering that we closed there last year as resistance. We come down to the 3 month time frame. It also did act as resistance twice, both last year and then in the first 3 months of this year. So this is not bad. The monthly. Okay, so we had the monthly close above the level. Now we have the retest.
Yeah,
Yeah, actually,
retest.
that's not bad. That's actually not bad. It's not bad. Let me quickly add XRP to, because I'm also building a crypto watches myself. I'm not done, but I intend to actively trade cryptos as well. So let me just quickly add this.
Okay.
XRP. Let's see. Yeah. So, but yeah, this is not
Yeah,
bad.
so
Now,
I
of
took.
course, are we okay? Go ahead. I'm listening.
No, I just wanted to say I took my entry on the daily time frame after a bullish candle close. Then my stop loss is just around 1.78. So I want you to help me review the entry and the stop loss. Yeah, my stop loss is around 1.78 and the entry is around 2.16. Yes. Yeah.
Uh, yeah, very good. That's very good. That's okay.
Okay. Yeah.
That's okay. Yeah, I think anywhere below the week,
Yeah.
anywhere below this week is fine. So yeah, I think that's okay. That's
All
actually
right.
very decent.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, this will be nice actually. Well, that's quite weird. But yes, obviously makes sense. I hope you got the explanation.
Yes, I do. Thank you.
All right. Let's see. So let me move over to indices. If you guys don't have any more questions here, let's move over. No.
Hello, yeah, Cassie. I have a question on NZD card.
All right, Joe, go ahead.
Yeah, NZD card. Now, I was thinking of the way you taught us as to like to always trade with the trend. So I was looking at it. So what trend is it now? I'm seeing as a choppy market, or so why are you still selling?
Okay, very interesting question. What trend is it now? It's ranging, okay, but it wasn't always ranging. It was a downtrend at first, and initially, like I said, when the idea came to fruition, it has been a downtrend, or it was a downtrend at the time. So if we took a sell then, we're not wrong. We're not selling now, right? The reason why we're short on entity card is not because of the current price action. You get. So we've sold before the range came into play. And the question you might wonder is, should I close because it's a range? You can do that, but again, like I said, I just have a 1% risk on the trade, and we can range for a while and still continue in the overall direction of the trend, or we can range for a while, and then the market can reverse and switch to the upside. Whatever the case, it's just a 1% risk, and that's always going to be. If it continues in that direction, fine. It will teach us to be more patient with our trades. It's just more disciplined. And then if it stops out, then yeah, it's a 1% loss. But trying to close right now because you can't decipher what's going to happen next is not the ideal plan for me. Because, like I said, we didn't sell because of the range. We're not always in this range. We're not always in this range. So that's why I'm still short on everything. If that makes sense.
Okay, yes, I understand.
So let's
Thank you.
exactly. So we've always been in downtrend. Overall, we're in downtrend. I think that makes sense.
Yes.
All right. So let's see. The S&P, of course, is on to making a new. Is going on to make a new high. It's very interesting. Let me see which of these levels I used. This guy. Okay. So yes, going on to make a new high, which is good because we bought way back in April. So we've been holding for like barely 2 months. And let's see. The market would now form an all-time high somewhere because we're broken past the previous one. So the market is set to form an all-time high. The question is where. I have a feeling it would be somewhere around these regions because, like I said, I'm using the fib extension to try to get the next potential reversal point. So I'll keep monitoring the market, but either ways, I think somewhere around this region is where I expect the market to turn around. It can't continue, of course, but I'll look to take my profits around this region. I'm also long on France 40, which is still here, so still open. I'm long on Nasdaq, which also has made a new all-time high as well. So pretty much the same things. Now all of these guys have been moving to the upside. Like I said, we could not buy everything. We bought a few because we cannot manage all of these trades. Of course, we definitely need risk management if we're trying to go long in the equity market. So this is the most I have. They're doing very well, like I explained. They're doing very good. Gold. Let's see. We're still ranging, right? Still in range. Still a range for gold, to be honest. Will it break out? Will it break? I'm not sure. But if we break out, of course, then we can look to continue the overall trend. So, but so far, we're just moving some. Copper is also doing well, like I said, but we do have a hurdle to get past, which is this guy. But then we've made some progress. Let me see. Yeah, almost 1.5 hour up on copper, which is good. So let's see if we manage to break this. If we do break this, then we just might have this guy shooting for the stars. Who knows? Who knows, right? But yes, this is for copper, and I think I have palladium longs as well. Yeah, I'm also long on palladium, which is also doing well as we speak. Closed platinum last month, but then it didn't stop there. It went on to blast past the level. I've spoken about this new level, and interestingly, we have a monthly close above it. So which means if we pull back and test this level of support, then of course I would love to go long on platinum. So yes, we have more ideas, more opportunities on the way. And yes, I think we can capitalize on these guys. But then I just highlighted all my running trades. If I would count them in total, I think we have somewhere around 11 running trades. So yes, we have 11 running trades as we speak. I think we had about 14, right? But 3 trades have played out. 3 trades hit take profits and have played out. We're down to 11. As we speak, I think we're up. Let me see. We're up almost 18%. right? Up almost 18%. I think we're like 17+% on these trades. So and now we're up 20% actually, like close trades, up 20%. So I'll show you guys when I open up the journal. We're up like 20% close trades. The running trades are up like 17%. Yeah, that's crazy. That is crazy. And I think as we speak, all trades are currently in profit. Just part ending that's like right there, break even, but everything else is in views. So we're doing really good, like I said. And quarter two has ended, which is why I said we're up 20% in the first 6 months of 2025. But that's just closed trades. The running trades right now are up about 17 or 18%. If I'm to close all my running trades as we speak, we'll be up about 38% in the first 6 months of 2025. But we can't do that because the trades are still running and they have potential. So we're just going to sit back, sit tight, and of course allow the market to speak to us. I would show you guys my journal now so that you can see what is going on. It's updated now, so I'll show you. Let's see. Yeah. All right. So this is the return from last year, January 2024 up until now. We are up almost 44% since inception in 2024, and this year alone, yes, we're up 20.7, so almost 21% basically in 2025. And so far, we've closed out 12 trades. We've had 8 wins and 4 losses. If we come and look at the stats, our win rate is around 67% for the year. But like I said, I'm still trying to get this like 80%. Ideally, I would want an 80% win rate of this system. That's when I think we've gotten to the best part of the system, when we get like 80-85%, somewhere around that. And I think if I would include the results from October, which is when the effect came into place, are we close to 80%? Let's see. From October, we're still at 60. So I think we have a long way to go. So since October, when the adjustment had taken effect, I mean the system's adjustment, we're up 27% since October of 2024, right? And just coming down to this year alone, we're up. Sorry. Yes, this year we're up almost 21%. So last month I closed just one trade, which is platinum. Last month. And now so far this month we've closed 2 trades already and we're up like 4.4%. And so we are having a fine start to quarter 3 already. We'll see what quarter 3 ends with. Now the last 3 months, which is quarter 2, we closed with like 7.6%, which wasn't bad. And I think quarter 1 we closed with like I'm not sure, I think 9% or so. So again, we're doing very well for the month. Another thing I highlighted was that we've recorded only 4 losses for the year, just 4. 6 months have flown by, and we just have 4 losses. It's incredible. It's important to always highlight the good part of the system. So yes, I would love to keep the losses as small as this, somewhere under, I don't know, maybe somewhere under 8 to 10 trades this year. I don't think I'll get anything more than that. But of course, ultimately increasing the win rate to like 60%. My losing streak, the max losing streak I have so far is 2, which is good. And so far the win streak is 3, still good. And I want to keep the losing streak as small as maybe 4, so I won't have a situation where I will lose like 5-6 trades back to back to back. These are the things I'm checking out for with the system. Profit factor is incredible. The trades that we hold, how long they take, is also very incredible. So again, yeah, this is the most I have. Let me see if I can also show you guys the other account I was. Is that here? Let me see.
Casey, I really wish this stock journal can be automated. It must have taken you a lot of time to impute all this manually. Did you get in touch with them about the automation?
I did. And so far, I've not really gotten the best response, but at some point it will be automated. At some point, it's just the integration is not, how to explain now. It will take a while because Storm Journal was not always like this. They've made massive progress up until now. So I think they will get to this point. Eventually they will. Also, one thing I wanted from them was the public record is not as good as it is when it's on the dashboard. So I want a situation where when you send out your link to your portfolio, anybody can view it like this. But if I send out my public link right now, it's not proper. It's not the way I want it. So I'm feeling for them. Yes, I hope they will come to make the adjustments. I think they will eventually.
All right.
Yes. I'm trying to get okay, most of these accounts are not updated. Yes, most of these accounts are not updated. So like they only have results from like yesterday, so that we don't have like current results because sometimes in my textbook it take time to update. So but yes, let me see. So this is what the equity curve looks like this year. So smooth sailing and just steadily making higher highs and higher lows, which is very good. And in fact, since April, you can see that we've had a stretch of higher highs, mainly because we've had multiple trades play out since April, which is good. And if I would look at the returns this year, like I said, 20%. Let's go back. So yeah, 20%. That would mean that if you're risking 5% per trade, $5,000 per trade on a 500k account, this is 100k in the first 6 months of trading. And yeah, I mean anywhere in the world, that's quite some money, isn't it? And now we come back to last year, 23%, but like let's drag it out to now. Good. So 43% since inception. Interestingly, like I said, this is only a 500k account as an example for you guys, and this is a year and 6 months worth of trading on a 500k account, and this is how much that's produced. This is how much it will produce if you're managing this much. But then you see how, like I said, interestingly, you don't have to do too much. You really don't have to do too much. As long as you're consistent, as long as you have consistent returns, you will make money over time. These returns are not from like a $3 million account or a $1 million account. It's 500k. And what it means is, if this account was a $1 million account, then of course it will be double of this. But then let's say it's not 500k, let's say it's 100k. Whatever the case, as long as you are consistent, you'll be able to make money. And that's why I've always said that your issue has to be looking for that consistency, making sure your system works over time. I promise you, when you do that, your stress stops. To a great extent, your worry has reduced, because the only other thing you have to do is to allow your capital to do the heavy lifting. As long as your system works, you just have to move on to getting more capital to make more on the same returns. So 218k, for example, on an account of 500k that has been running for a year and 6 months. If it wasn't 500k, of course, it'd be lesser than this. But the point was, if this is 500k, then it means that if you're managing more, then you're going to make more as well. So just make sure that you're consistent. That's the first thing. Once you do that, the next thing you're looking at is what? Scaling capital. But you don't want to scale capital if you're not consistent. If your system is not robust enough, if it's not sophisticated enough to take more capital, you can't do that. So just make sure the system is consistent. And like I said, if you are consistent, you are better than 90% of retail traders. You are like, you're on a different planet. You're on a different section of traders. You don't mix with the 90%. Maybe you're not making too much. Maybe your returns are not so fantastic or extraordinary. Maybe not. But as long as you're consistent, as long as you can go over a period of time, a few months, a few years, and there are results, you are not in the class of those who are not profitable. That in itself is a flex. Of course, you can work to increase your gains, be better at your system with your system and all of that, but just bask in the fact that you are not in the class of those who are not profitable. So yes, if you're consistent, some traders, like I've said before, have messed up their systems because they want you to return like 100% in 6 months or in a year. Sometimes they try to slim fit their system to do more, and eventually they break it. Some of these systems work, they're robust, but they may not do as much as they want. It's a problem too. Some great systems that might return 30% annually, or maybe 35, maybe 20, 25. They don't like it. They want the system to somehow return 80 and 100% that same year. Some systems can, not all systems can. But the point is, some traders just mess up a good system by trying to get more out of it. So again, if your system does 30%, 40%, yeah, just look for more capital there. That's it. Find a way to source more capital, and then you make more the same returns that you were managing a smaller capital. I think that makes sense. So I can't really show you guys in my FX. Maybe on Monday when it's updated, I will do that. But so far it's the same thing. The last update was like 12 hours ago, so I had not closed with CHF at that time. But yeah, this is what we have since inception, and I don't know if you guys have any questions. All right.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, hello, go ahead.
All right, please, I have a question. But actually concerning fundamental, because we all know that NFP came out today, and I think that was for like the private sector, I think. And from the information, it's actually declined. Yeah, it actually declined. Well, coming to the chart, I saw a very strong bullish momentum. So I don't know the reason for that. I don't know if you can say something about that. Just like from the
Yeah,
interpretation,
all right.
lower result was meant to be seen as a negative outcome, which is bearish for USD pairs, and that was the case for coming to the chart. Like I was saying it, it was all bullish. So I don't know why it was that way. I don't know if you have any idea. You please speak on that.
Yes, I've explained to you before now that sometimes you don't want to tie in what has come out to the result. Also, you said NFP was a miss. Was it really a miss? The private, yes, it was, but the NFP numbers, the public NFP numbers was not a miss actually. It came out at 147, previous to 139. So ideally, NFP was not a miss. It was actually better than expected, better than previous, and better than expected. But if you're speaking on the private, yes, it was a miss. But also, the private, I don't know what takes the show. It's actually the public data for the most part. But then I've also said that you don't want to always tie the result of a news event to the current. You don't want to tie the event of the result of a news event to what is going on in the market currently. The market can react differently to a news event. So if you're always trying to tie in the move with the data, you may get it wrong. You've asked this question before. So sometimes, like I've said, it's better to have a better understanding of the overall economy and what data means. Okay, the market can react differently to any news event. Okay, so it's not black and white. It's not fixed. It's not that if data comes out like this, and of course market will react like this. But if that was the case, that's already a system and a strategy. Everybody would have been trading that. That's not the case. So please always don't dwell so much on the exact reaction of the market when the data comes out. Okay, the market will not always give you the reaction that you think it will. But then for NFP today, it wasn't a miss actually. It wasn't. If you look at the public data, it wasn't.
Yeah, I've actually gotten to see that. I was just looking at the private. I just went over it again, and I saw that it wasn't a miss. It wasn't a miss at all. So I was just paying attention to the private. I never knew like the main NFP was up there. So I just got to see it now. Thank you.
All right. That makes sense. Also, yeah, I'm trying to get the points. Yes, NFP came out today, Thursday instead of Friday. Some of us may have wondered why. It is because I think tomorrow is like the independence in the US. I think when I checked out the calendar, I think that was what I saw. So I think that's the reason why NFP came out today. Because ideally, NFP comes out on the first Friday of every month. But today's not Friday, today's Thursday actually, but it came out today. So that's why there's a difference. So I think every other month it will come out as Friday. But I think the reason why it came out today being Thursday is because of independence tomorrow. So we might expect slower markets tomorrow, maybe, maybe not. But I think that's the reason why NFP came out. Just heads up. Just a heads up. So yeah, any other questions? Just before we
Yeah. Hello, Cassie. Please, I was looking at a different pair, USD Hong Kong dollar. Is it tradable or what? Is it tradable? Like, or is it
it's
CFD?
yeah, it is.
Okay. And
It is.
so now I was looking at the way like DSY is not strong, but that pair was very bullish there. So I was
Yeah.
surprised. Why is that like that?
Just to tell you, like I said, that once again, currency strength and currency weakness is relative, right? The fact that the US dollar is weak doesn't mean it will be weak against every single currency. That's true. I didn't really speak up much on the dollar itself, so let's come back. The dollar has been weak, so weak, but then you see that USJPY is still like ranging, right? USJPY is still ranging. EU is moving up, but UJ is not moving down. That's why I said it's relative. So that's why things like that happen. Okay, but let's come back to GXY. I didn't speak much on it. Yeah, so we came back to 96, which is the next key level. And I think the dollar is cornered, very much cornered, and maybe the only other thing you can do is bounce. Maybe the only other thing you can do is find support. Maybe, who knows? But let's see. Let's see what happens in the next few days and maybe even weeks and months. Is it possible that the dollar will continue down to 91? It can, but yeah, that's a big ask. But whatever the case, we'll keep monitoring the charts, the market, and we'll see where it takes us. But then, just to answer your question, George, currency strength, currency weakness is very relative, dynamic. Okay, if the currency is weak, it may not necessarily be weak against every single currency. That makes sense.
Yeah, Casey, sorry, one last question. So, do you have any reason for not trading exotics at this moment, or do you plan adding them to your portfolio sometimes in the future? Because I'm looking at some, and I can see some very good setups coming. Yeah.
Yeah, exotics. One of the reasons why I have not decided to add exotics is because of swaps, right? So for some of these exotics, it costs more. You pay more in swaps. So if you have any reason, if you are to hold a trade for like a few months, you might pay so much more in swaps than you want to, right?
Oh,
And
okay.
yeah, I'm not so comfortable with that just yet. Although not every exotic, but most of them, or some of them. So, but I'm trying to mark some charts, just trying to mark some levels and then monitor them from time to time. But I'm not fully into that. I've not like added exotic into my portfolio just yet. I might do that in the future, but so far I haven't done that.
All right. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. I got that.
All right. So yeah, any other questions? Feel free to ask. If you have a question, you need clarification or something, just feel free to ask. Okay.
So Cassie, definitely GPY. We are s- we're supposed to look for a pullback or like it's still not ready. I
And then
was looking at
why?
it on the GPY. I was looking at on a daily time frame, and I was thinking like, so is it pullback or is it ready?
Did you
Yes.
say is it
So
you are?
yes.
Now,
That bullish
well,
thing.
yes, I will not trade NZJPY because it's not anywhere around my key level. But of course, there are opportunities to go long. It's just like Yusuf that bought ADJPY, for example. They're very alike and they can actually continue in this direction. Although I don't have any entries to place myself, but this is the most likely direction we can move in, unless something changes. Unless something changes.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, moving on. We're on to quarter three now, and some things we discussed in quarter two about ourselves as traders were the importance of joining our trades and then back testing our trades. We talked about these two things in depth, and we have come to understand the very importance of these things. We had a review of our journals at some point in May, and we're going to have a review of our journals again at the end of this month. So I'm just giving us a heads up that if the journal is not complete, if you are if you are behind schedule, try and hasten up and then make sure your journal is up to date because we'll go out our journals once again instead of next month. So we'll just allow us to have 2 months worth of data before we review the journals once again. And also, as regards back testing, if you have I've not spoken much about it recently because I want you guys to keep doing that, right? Keep testing. I think we'll speak about back testing towards the end of the month. I want you guys to just make sure you spend your time testing. The free software is there. I think it was Captain who gave an idea on how to work without the ads, right? It was Captain who did that. But yes, you can go on without the ads for the software I showed you guys. For those of us who are new, who may not who are not familiar with the software, I think I'll put it up on Monday just so that you can understand how it works. But please keep testing, right? Keep back testing your trade, your systems, do all of that. And then we'll have a review of the back test systems as well. But then we'll not do that until the end of the month. But I want to give you guys enough time to test. So yes, these two things are coming back to the agenda, testing our trades, and then the journals. So we'll come back to review the testing sessions first, after which we'll come back to review our journals once again. So please, if your journal is not up to date, try as much as possible, as within your power, to do that. Make it up to date. Alright? This is the only update I have for you guys. So yes, if there are any questions, I think we'll close the curtain here. There was an insight session. It was wonderful. We're so much today. We came out in huge numbers. Thank you guys for showing up. And yes, I will see you guys on Monday. Okay. So you guys have a fantastic weekend. Yeah, also have a fantastic.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes,
God bless.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Pleasure.